All right. Another day, some more breath. We blessed. All right, this is technically the third installment of this Hustle 365 um, episodic series. We're going to basically break down the whole system. In the first video, we went over the intro to the movement, just giving you an overview of Global Hip Hop Council, what we look to do, and how we're going to get things accomplished. Second video, if y'all haven't watched that, that was the power of hip hop. And on the power of hip hop, we really got in depth with our perspective of hip hop, the role that it plays, how we look at the industry, and the role we believe fans will be capable of playing in the near future. All right, just to give you some backdrop on the way we look at the industry to prepare you a little bit more to learn about the products and services that we have and that we are preparing to introduce. Now today we're gonna get into the power of purpose. The power of purpose. I think that's really necessary before we really dive really deep into the services that Global Hip Hop Council is providing. Before we dive really deep into that, um, I want to touch on the purpose, like the purpose for Global Hip Hop Council. Uh, Not giving many deep stories with how I got to this point and how we got to this point, but just focus on the purpose itself. So, got a couple little notes here because sometimes I can get off on a tangent. So I'm just gonna follow the notes on the board. Get y'all this information because what's most important is what we do with this information. I'm not just dropping these videos for views and nothing like that. I expect for individuals as they initially get introduced to Global Hip Hop Council, I'll be introducing them to this group of videos. It should be about 10 total. So they can have a good understanding of the philosophies behind the organization, um, so that the way that we handle business, it is unique, but it could be understood, the meanings and the reasons why we do what we do. So let's get into this power of purpose. Well, first of all, what is the purpose of Global Hip Hop Council? The purpose is it could be simply put like this. We're here to build and to establish a more equitable hip hop industry globally. Literally, it's just that simple. And when we say equitable, we mean a fair system, a just system, a balanced system, a system that essentially allows uh, those who should be rewarded to get proper compensation, a system that has protocols, um, generally accepted principles that are followed by service providers, artists, and it's known. Um, we want to build a more equitable hip hop industry, and it's when we think about the hip hop industry, it's really clear that we do not just put this in a box, and we're not just talking about music, okay? Because hip hop at this point has become synonymous with all culture that originates from African American young men. Um, it's hip hop. It's the culture that we created, and it's not. It goes well beyond the music. It's our aspirations, businesses, and at the end of the day, it's typically a majority African American young men who are creating and responsible for this whole hip hop culture. Though it has now become a global phenomenon, all right, we're talking about the core, the creators. Hip hop is essentially the culture of young African American men, and we want that in all things that we engage into, specifically things that stemming from the hip hop content creators and the hip hop entrepreneurs. We want these things to be equitable, fair, and just systems, all right, established. We want to make sure that wealth is being created, people are being properly compensated, systems are in place that's allowing for ideas to be manifested and distributed to the fans fluidly without roadblocks, and we really want to do that. So that's the purpose, to build a more equitable hip hop industry. Now, why is this the purpose? All right, why Why are we even concerned? Why is this worth our time? Why would this possibly be worth your time if you're watching this? Um, what's the purpose for the purpose? At the end of the day, when we take a group of knowledge that we've already discussed earlier, generally went over in the first and the second installment of this, and the fact is, hip hop is the most dominant force on the planet right now. It's the most dominant form of culture. It's the most dominant genre of music, definitely, hands down. And I would beg to say that the most inspirational individuals globally come from the hip hop generations and embody the hip hop energy. All right, if they're not artists themselves directly, they hip hop. They utilizing the swag and terminology in order to you know attract the masses, and they do that effectively. Effectively, those people who do that effectively, they create positive change on the world. So, if we really want to be honest here and say, if we really want to create positive change on the world, um, first we know the minds of people, of the masses, have to be on that state, on that stage, ready for that. And music affects the mind more effectively than a preacher. I would say. I would say on that stage, artists have more power than preachers, more power than presidents. And I'm not talking about the type of power that you can measure with some votes. I'm talking about actual real life power, the power to influence people's thinking, the power to influence people's decision, the power to uh, demand the attention and the affection of people. Hip hop has that, and that's just the facts. And when we're thinking about having a purpose that's worthy of living, we breathe and we hear, and we want to do something that's worth our life. We want to do something that's worth our time. And what way to create a better world? What better way than to help those who are truly seeking to create a better world? Now, a lot of hip hop artists, regardless of what you would want to say about the content of their music, um, their actions speak that they're attempting to do a lot of positive things in their communities. Now, do I believe the content of the music has an effect on the mindset as well? Yeah, there's evidently a time and a place for all types of expressions. But the point is, the amount of economics that hip hop artists bring to their communities, the amount of hope, inspiration, uh, jobs, employment, and just having those additional streams of income that were totally created by oneself, that's powerful. That's inspirational. And the ideas that hip hop artists have, the audacity that they have, the aggressiveness that they have, the belief in creating better worlds for themselves, their families, their communities, it's unmatched. I don't believe you can get a group of politicians that have more audacity than a group of hip hop artists when it comes to actually creating change, for the people, for the masses. I don't think you can find any other group of people that have the mindset, that have the audacity to actually do things, and that's power. And power does a lot of things. Power creates natural enemies, as we're seeing throughout the history of hip hop. Power creates natural enemies. Power corrupts if not managed properly. Um, but at the same time, power also uh, has the ability to allow us to leverage it and to get things accomplished. And that's what we want to do with this purpose. While we build a more equitable hip hop industry, uh, the goal is to support those artists who truly want to support the world and bring about a better world. And we can't handpick. You never know who that's going to be. You know, so that's why the purpose is what it is. Now, we all know that we've witnessed power corrupt. We witnessed murders in hip hop. We've witnessed unfair business dealings. We've witnessed artists getting trapped in contracts that they can't get out of. That happens in a lot of businesses. But we've witnessed bad business, good business. We witnessed successes. We witnessed enough uh, to know that while hip hop is totally capable of assisting individuals in creating a better life, like anything, if not managed properly, if not dealt with in the right way, it could do the opposite as well. It could turn great men into peasants. It could corrupt the minds of individuals, um, and that's not what's up. That's not what we're looking to do. At the end of the day, when we see problems in the industry up until this point, a lot of times people see problems and they believe that we got to deal with them. Like that's the way it is. That's the industry. This is how it is. It's going to be like that, right? We beg to differ. We beg to differ. We believe that everything is evolving, everything is changing. You feel me? It's either digression or progression. And I truly believe and perceive that with all the ups and downs, with all the losses and with all the trials and tribulations and the successes and triumphs that we've experienced in hip hop, it's all for the good and the positive upliftment of the world, of the globe, of the people on the planet. That's what I truly, truly believe. The more hip hop artists and hip hop fans are capable of leveraging the power of hip hop and aligning is meaningful and mutually beneficial for the people and the fans. I mean, for the people, if accomplished, could benefit us all. Game changer, game changer, game changer, game changer. So that's what we represent right here, Global Hip Hop Council. We represent awareness. We represent awareness in the hip hop community, audacity, the audacity to look at situations and identify solutions, incorporate them into our policies and principles, and uphold those things. Hold ourselves accountable and hold others accountable who choose to be held accountable. We do not believe that each and every individual will be part of this organization. We do not believe that each and every artist will be part of this organization. We're not that naive, but we do believe that the will and always suffice. Those who come and those who participate, those who understand the vibe, those who get to learn the services and the offerings, and they see the clear benefits for handling business this way, um, those who engage will be enough. Enough to show that this way of doing business works. And you can see the other way of doing business, you can see this way of doing business, and over time, I truly perceive that people will get on board with this whole new wave, all right? And at the end of the day, when we're watching the hip hop industry, man, it's a war. It's a battle. It's a battle for the minds of people, for our houses, our lives, our families, our legacies. Hip hop artists is on the front line of the mental battle, the spiritual battle, even when you're dealing with the emotions of the masses. This is real. This is very real. And I would just have to say that knowing the power of hip hop, all right, and not attempting to create a fair, just, and balanced system that has proper compensation, proper protocols, presents uh, enough tools and access to resources to the artists so that they can actually manifest their dreams, new streams of income, new wealth generation strategies. Like to not do these things would be a total disservice to the future generation. Like, because we clearly see that there's opposite forces in hip hop. There's forces that don't really give a fuck about spreading positive vibes, positive messages, uplifting the people, uplifting communities. There's a true um, greed factor in all types of businesses, hip hop included. There's that. So when we see that and we see the effects that that can have, and we can see, what people would do for fame, and we can see negativity spreading rapidly. We also see glimmers of hope and light, but we have to together, those of us who choose to unify, get on the same page, handle our business, keep making this dope music, keep pushing these vibes, keep dripping on them. Yeah, move in purpose, move collectively towards a mission that once accomplished will help us all out, from fans to the artists to regular, everyday, average people, you know. Um, and we don't want to be a disservice to the future generations, or a disservice to those who paved the way. People put a lot in for this industry to be what it is. Honestly, at this point, a lot of people put a lot in. Blood, sweat, and tears. Blood. It's been shed. You know, and it takes a lot of hard work. I myself understand it's like 1 hour, maybe 2 hours of sleep over the last night, and some nights 3 hours of sleep. Um, but we can do that. The purpose is worth it. It's a valid. It's a worthy sacrifice. You understand what I'm saying? This is a system that, as we begin to communicate it, as we begin to share more and more with you guys, you'll see exactly um, how the industry can and will operate in the near future, in the future, and moving forward. And you'll be able to compare that to how the industry has been operating now, and you'll see it's apples and oranges. Like, the results are going to be different for artists. The results are going to be different for independent labels, for even major labels who tap into this this system. All right, the results are going to be different from fans. The rewards will be different, better. All right, when you're thinking in lack, you're going to have a lack. When you're thinking in prosperity, there's going to be prosperous situations. And right now we have uh, hip hop. We have new generations of hip hop, and there's no need to battle them. We have a whole world, y'all. We have a whole world of hip hop fans. We have a whole world of hip hop fans that I would beg to say we haven't really engaged well. We haven't really engaged where there's millions and billions of dollars still on the table every month, I would say, that we're not collecting because of the strategies that we're utilizing, and of our because we've been used to having people handle business on our behalf, uh, haven't been used to analyzing all the opportunities, haven't been given the tools to see all the opportunities that exist, and having the knowledge to maximize those opportunities. And at the end of the day, you have to have a group as well to help um, make the most out of these opportunities that's global, right? And we have to open up the chains of communication and the lines of communication um, with ourselves and other hip hop communities throughout the world, right? Uh, Information can't just be coming from the top down from a few different media outlets. We have to open up our communication with fans, with other artists, with other executives and associates that's all over the countries, all over the world, in different demographics, and we'll begin to see different opportunities, all right? That's just a little bit of what GHH along here on this one. So lastly, to wrap it up, I'd like to say, because we talking about the power of purpose, right? So we know that the purpose of Global Hip Hop Council is to build a more equitable hip hop industry. We understand that hip hop is essentially synonymous with African American culture that's led by young African American men. And there's a lot of forces in the world naturally that just don't want to see anything from young African American men succeed. But at the same time, there's a lot of forces that want to see things succeed. So regardless of what's coming against us, we must know our purpose and keep on moving forward. And that's what this is about. In addition to that, this is a time for people to realize that they are enough, okay? Because sometimes I know we think we see certain celebrities, or we see certain um, stars or certain hip hop executives, and we perceive they should do this, or they should do this, or they should do that, or they should do that. Man, they are doing what they do, and if we perceiving them as a celebrity, or we perceiving them as someone that should do something, that means they have done something that we perceive was a nice feat, a difficult feat to accomplish, and can't that be enough? Like, there's millions and billions of other people in this world. Like, what's up with us? The average everyday hero. People have accounting skills. People have social media skills, marketing skills. People, can help this movement move forward. You know, we in touch. We in tune. There's a lot of graduates from colleges and people who've been studying years and years and years. They love hip hop. They don't have career outlets, and we need to show them how to engage with hip hop so that they could assist us in handling the business the way we want to handle business. Because a lot of times we rocking with these labels and we rocking with uh, ain't nothing wrong with the label if the label is in your purpose. Is in purpose with you. You feel me? It has the same purpose, a good mission with you, and is truly willing to hold up their end of the bargain, and the bargain is a mutually beneficial bargain. That ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, a fair deal ain't never hurt nobody. Yet at the same time, when we only have a few outlets to rely on for certain services and certain products, then we become dependent on that. It's time for us as a hip hop community to develop internal skills with amongst ourselves, our crews that we have, but then the collective community to identify the skills within people all around us so that certain projects and things can be getting off the ground and certain action can be happening. All right, but we got a lot in store. We have an entire new infrastructure created that has technical aspects, that has technology, has a new business structure, education paradigm um, for hip hop, and a treasury. All right, new cryptocurrency specifically for hip hop. Now, Global Hip Hop Council, we got a lot that we're beginning to introduce to y'all. All right, but we got to take this thing and we got to break it down. So um, I like to just say, if you don't know, take one thing from this third episode of uh, this Hustle 365 series. Take away the fact that the purpose, walking in this purpose, I perceive in my life is a life worth living. All right, it's a life worth living. It's not just for money. It's not for fame. It's something that truly can cause a true positive effect in this world, in our local communities, in the hip hop communities, in our families' lives. Um, and things could really get done a lot more efficient. And regardless of who's not involved, you must know that you are enough. You got enough in you. All right, you have enough of whatever you need, and if you need to get some more something, you gonna get it. If you keep your mind to it, you connect yourself with other like-minded individuals. They may got pieces to the puzzle that you don't have. But we must know that we are enough. We must be courageous, maintain our courage, and competence, not ignorant courage. We must understand our strengths and our weaknesses and align ourselves with individuals who have strengths that uh, can help us out and not and could basically balance out our weaknesses. But as a group, as a global group, uh, we currently have associates in Africa, Europe, America, and the Caribbeans. But we're looking to grow to every continent. And as the days progress, we'll be sharing some of that information. We have a website that's definitely finna drop sometime soon. We don't want to say the date, but very soon. Prior to before this episodic series gets done, before this Hustle 365 series gets done, we will be presenting you with the website to the Global Hip Hop Council, so you can see how you can engage, how you can potentially earn some money by helping to build this new infrastructure. And by the time that website gets introduced, we definitely will present enough information via these podcasts to assist you in having a well-rounded mindset about what's going on. all right, to know what's really going on. So, with that being said, I just say, know that we are competent collectively, know that we are capable collectively, and know that we are courageous collectively. And individually, you got to know that you are a worthy part of this piece of this puzzle. You are a much needed piece of this puzzle, regardless of what it is you bring to the table. If it's your faith you bring to the table, that's beautiful and that's needed. If you have skills that you want to bring to the table, that's needed. If you wish to develop skills, that's okay. That's needed. You know, um, sharing this word about what's going on is needed. I know right now you may not know all of what's going on, but just wait for it. It's definitely coming, all right? So, that's the third episode. Y'all got the intro to the movement with the first one. If you ain't watched that, go check that out. You got the power of hip hop with the second one. And the third, we just went over the power of purpose, all right? So, I hope you totally understand the purpose of Global Hip Hop Council, how we perceive that we could um, assist this industry generally, and I hope you know that you could be a valuable part of the movement. You know, at the end of the day. So I'm gonna get back to business because that's what I do. You stay doing what you do. Stay in tune. Peace.